The Israel-Hamas war could reshape the 2024 presidential election and potentially be a disaster for President Biden. Muslim Americans overwhelmingly voted for him in 2020. Support is slipping right now for Biden's support for Israel. The National Muslim Democratic Council wrote this open letter to Biden. We pledge to mobilize Muslim, Arab, and allied voters to withhold endorsement, support, or any votes for any candidate who did not advocate for a ceasefire and endorse the Israeli offensive against the Palestinian people. National Secretary or Security spokesman John Kirby said Hamas may benefit more from a ceasefire than Israel.
In terms of a ceasefire, our concern with that is that Hamas benefits to the tune of being able to refit, renew themselves, plan and execute additional attacks. And as I said yesterday, right now is not the time for a general ceasefire. It is, however, the time to consider pauses in the fighting.
A new op-ed from The Hill says supporting Israel is politically perilous for President Biden, while Politico calls the issue a political wedge that will shape the contours of the 2024 election cycle. I want to bring in former DNC Deputy Press Secretary Jose Aristimuno. Former Georgia Congressman Doug Collins will join us in a moment. Jose, first of all, give me the calculus that has to happen now for Biden in the White House and getting those Muslim votes.
Well, look, I think first and foremost, Harris, we have to understand that Biden has supported the Muslim community since the very beginning.
Yes, he got a big chunk in 2020.
That's right. And we support Israel. Look, Joe Biden understands that, number one, we need to defeat Hamas. We need to support the Jewish community. At the same time, we need to support the Muslim community. The long-term vision for this is a two-state solution. That's just reality. So, the sort of letters by the Muslim, Democrats, look, it's unrealistic to have a ceasefire if we're going to defeat Hamas. Let's be real. If we want to defeat a terrorist organization, we need to engage with the enemy, and that's what Biden, along with Israel, is prepared to do.
So that's interesting because you basically said two things that might not be oppositional, but I don't often hear them together. You've got to support Israel. And my question was, how do you keep the Muslim vote? And they're telling you that you're not going to get it unless you do what they say and don't support Israel in the way that you're supporting them right now. You think you can do both those things? How do you get that Muslim vote?
There's no question about it. And look, Harris, we are a year away from a presidential election, and with all due respect to the leaders from the Muslim community that wrote this letter, I just don't think that's true. I don't think that's representative of the Muslim community as a whole in the United States of America.
Look, it's been reported that there are estimates beyond 14 months for this war. So, I mean, that's beyond what you're talking about. That might be a problem for Biden. Let's get to this, and then Doug, I'll come right to you. The White House yesterday danced around questions about the president's dip in support from Muslim Americans.
I'm not going to get into every poll, right? Paying attention, listening to what different communities are concerned about. Obviously, that is important to this president. I'm just not going to go into every poll from here.
What does that say, Doug?
It says they don't want to deal with it. And look, I appreciate my friend's response there. We do have to support Israel, but I think it is incongruent to hold both of those at the same time, especially given what the Muslim community in this letter and others and what we're seeing in the streets, Harris. We saw this just the other day when you and I were talking on Outnumbered. They're not for a two-state solution. They're not out peacefully protesting for a two-state solution. They're peacefully out protesting, saying we support Hamas and the atrocities of Hamas, and we believe that, and many of them have been saying we support whatever they did in the atrocities and the brutality and the murder. Again, I'm not sure how the Biden administration is going to dance around this because they don't want any help for Israel. They don't want to take any Israel into account. They want Israel to be gone. This isn't a two-state solution protest here. This is an annihilation of the Jewish state protest.
Right. And I mean, Hamas has said that. I mean, this is existential for Israel right now. Hamas wants to wipe Jews off the face of the map. That would be a one-state solution on their part, but they won't be able to do it. Campaign finance data now showing vulnerable Democratic lawmakers in 12 states have taken donations from political action committees tied to anti-Israel squad members, those far-left members of the House. All those Democratic lawmakers who took these donations voted for the House resolution standing in solidarity with Israel in its war against Hamas. Again, pointing to a divide in the party. Make sense of this. How does this work out, Jose?
Look, it's politics, it's democracy. So every party has their extremes. We got maybe extremes on the left. The Republicans have problems on their own that they gotta solve. I
All right,
really
let's focus
believe.
on your party now, because we're focused on Biden.
Well, look, I can tell you the president supports Israel. That's number one. That's the most important thing. He's met with Netanyahu. He's met with the president of Israel, and he's going to continue to support him. The Jewish community supports Joe Biden, and he's with this president.
So what does he do to get that Muslim vote? I feel like I'm asking you the same question because I just want to know what you say about it. I mean, you were the deputy press secretary.
It's not that complicated.
I gotta know, for the DNC.
It's not that complicated. I think the president is able to walk and chew gum at the same time, Harris. He's able to support the Jewish community and help the Muslim community as a whole. That's what we do. That's why he's the president of the United States. You can do both things.
If the Muslim voters don't turn out for him
the
way they did in 2020, what happens to Joe Biden? What percentage? What are we looking at in terms of what goes away? I think it's like 2%.
I love how we're a year.
I'm going to go to Doug. Hold on, I'll come back to you. Go ahead, Doug.
Well, I think he's got a problem, and this idea that he can walk and chew gum at the same time is sort of funny at this, because there is no walking and chewing gum here. It's either you're going to support Israel, which the Muslim community has, in these letters have said, you support Israel, we're not going to support you. But I do have to agree with my friend. Where are they going to go? Are they going to stay at home? Are they not going to vote? And then they have to look at this from the perspective of that their position is staked out with the position of Hamas. This is what really I think it will push actually not just Democrat voters, but it's going to push Republican voters to take a look at that. Maybe those independents who don't want to, who may or may not having trouble with both parties, they're going to look at this and say, do I want to stand with groups that that are going against this with the president here? I want to stand with Israel. I'm not going to stand with this grouping here. So I think it's going to tear up the vote, especially in Michigan and places like that. It's not an easy answer, and I don't think you can easily write it off as being portrayed here.
So the 2% that I mentioned that vote might represent this time around, think about how small the margins are in some battleground states, but also think about third-party competition. You've got Dean Phillips on the left getting into the race, too. The president's going to need every percentage vote that he can get. This becomes one of those things we watch for. Good to see you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Hey, everyone. I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.